Hey kids, it's October 2015. This is the Muddy Chef Garage. Today we are doing an HID light installation in a Land Rover Discovery, and as you can see, I put one light in already. And let me ask you a question: would you rather have that or stock? And I'm going to just walk you through quickly how to do this installation and what some of the issues are around making sure that the light is focused correctly, to avoid light scatter or pissing off other drivers, and making it actually even harder to see. We'll talk a little bit about the differences in the HID light spectrum. A lot of people think that a higher Kelvin number is brighter light. It actually is not. So I'll come back to this in 1 second, and thanks for watching. Okay, so we're back to the HID light installation on a 2004 Land Rover Discovery, or as I like to call it, the Muddy Chef demo car, or as Kristen likes to call it, Goldschlager or Maya, because it's Mayan gold. Anyway, so this video sort of assumes that you know how to take these lights off. These bolts here are not the factory ones. The original ones stripped out. They're terrible. It assumes that you can get the light out. Don't forget to disconnect this screw right here, which is important to get the light out. The light pretty much comes out in the whole unit. You press the release button on the wiring harness and release the light and take it out. What we're going to do is we're going to change from halogen, which is an H4 bulb, which is probably 55 watts, something like that. What is it? Yeah, it's a 55 watt halogen bulb, to xenon, which is a high intensity gas discharge light. Now, it's more than likely this is not legal, blah blah blah, and as we all know, we only use Maya for off-road use only. An important factor is that if the light is not perfectly installed, if the HID light is not perfectly installed, you get tremendous amounts of glare and light scatter, and it irritates other drivers, and it's just a pain in the ass. So it's very important that if your light spacing is not correct, that you find a way to shim it. Essentially what that means is the reflector, the element, the filament inside this HID bulb, and forgive me if I'm sort of wandering all over the place on terms here, that needs to be in exactly the same place on the HID light inside the reflector housing on the vehicle. If it's not, you're going to have to shim it back or somehow forward if possible. Most of the time it just needs to be shimmed back. Best thing to do to check it is to, once it's installed, is to mark the center of the light, drive back 25 feet on a flat surface, point it at a wall, and make sure that you get a solid pattern of light. If you see hot spots, which looks like blobs of light or scatter, you're probably best in yanking it out and going in a different direction. I love HID. I put it in just about every car, motorcycle I've got. They run cool. They run on significantly less power once they get going. It's around 35 watts, something like that, and the light output is just tremendous, again, if it's done correctly. And again, this is for off-road use only. The kit that I buy is right around $120. I know they sell them on eBay for $30, or you see them sometimes for $500. The most important thing is to make sure that the ballast and the igniter are sealed units, epoxied, sealed shut, because on the Discovery, they're going to basically be hanging out in the area below where the fog light is, and that's relatively exposed to weather. You want to have something that's going to be pretty resistant to weather issues. So we're going to start with the install in a minute, and bear with me. Thanks. Okay, so back to taking the lights out. And by the way, whoever engineered this system that you have to completely take the housing out and remove a bunch of screws to change a headlight bulb is an idiot. So the light basically comes out. You have to be careful. There's supposed to be a rubber cup. All right, let's get it back in focus. Watch this rubber cup. Make sure that pin goes in. Once the light is out, reach into the wire bundle here. Press down on the tab and wiggle the wire harness off. Switch hands. Actually, I'm going to have to pause this and do it with both hands. Video is still recording, okay? So, plug comes off, then the light comes out. Just have to basically twist it carefully and wiggle it out. Put the camera down for a sec. Light comes out. So, what we're doing, it's hard to do this one-handed, so bear with me, kids. So, this is the low beam light. Take it out, turn it and unlock it. Again, it's impossible to do with one freaking hand. Cap comes off, release the spring here. Bulb comes out. You don't want to touch this bulb with your fingers if you ever plan on using it again. Bulb disconnects. Put that aside. We're going to pause the video and get the HID gear out. Okay, so the HID bulb fits into the exact same place that the H7 bulb did actually. It's not an H4, it's an H7. The only modification you have to make to the light housing is you need to drill a hole through the ceiling cup to accommodate the light passing through, and it comes with a gasket that basically will seal the light up here. If you're really anal about it, you could hit it with some silicone too, and that would help. What I like to use is one of these step drill bits, and this size is perfect. Do not drill this hole too big, just keep testing it until you get a very tight seal with the rubber gasket. So we'll pause that, we'll drill a hole out, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so back to the light installation. If you see on the Xenon capsule, it matches exactly the HID, sort of the halogen light setup. So basically what you want to do is line it up with the notch, turn it around, move the thing back. Sorry, this is very difficult to do, being left-handed and needing both hands to do this. So pardon the interruptions with the camera. Capsule goes in, pull the wiring back, put the spring-loaded bar down. Captures the light. Important thing about this doing an HID system is that it is completely plug and play. There's no cutting, there's no crimping, there's no changing anything. It basically can be uninstalled in the same time it takes to put it in. This is the stock pickup, which would plug into the bulb. It actually piggybacks off of this unit here. Make sure you pay attention to which is the ground and which is not. This goes through the hole in the ceiling ring. Wiring comes out, connects to the ballast and the igniter, and basically gets zip tied up under the bumper. And that's it. So the light's in, the connectors are connected, and that basically means to just get tucked down inside the housing, which is easy to do. And you'll see that the gasket for the ceiling ring is installed, and very nice. Again, if you're completely anal about this, I would hit the inside of it with some silicone grease. The only thing to do now is to plug in the igniter and the ballast, hang it down inside the vehicle. What I like to do is, there's no room here on the other side. There's a little room on this side. There's absolutely no room on the other side to do this. And I hung it down here below the bumper. This side's a little different. I think I'm probably going to stick it back there. Again, the left and the right are different as to where you can put stuff. But there looks to be enough room to fit the igniter and the ballast back there. And that's it. Back with the light testing shortly.